Welcome to Bird for Joy, a show about discovering all the different ways that bird watching can bring joy into our lives. I'm Candilynn Fite, your gracious host and fledgling birder. Here at Bird for Joy, we focus on listening and watching the birds around us, being curious and learning what the birds have to teach us about joy, life, and ourselves. So grab your favorite beverage, settle on your perch, and let's get into today's episode. Hello, Birdiful listeners. I hope this episode finds you happy, healthy, and enjoying the changing of seasons. I know I sure am. We had a cool front blow through Texas, and the temperatures are pretty perfect right now, with lows in the 50s and highs in the 70s. This past Saturday, October 14th, many of us in Texas experienced the unique opportunity to observe the annular solar eclipse pretty good. While the rest of my family was taking turns watching the eclipse through my husband's number 14 welding mask, I had my own eyes on the birds. There's no surprise there. As the process began, I didn't see any unusual behavior. My normal backyard birds, the northern cardinal, tufted titmouse, and Carolina chickadees, were doing their normal birdie things, flitting from feeder to feeder, chirping, tweeting. But there was one Carolina chickadee that continued to scold my grandbabies running around the backyard, who could have cared less about the eclipse or the birds. They were more interested in filling my ground bird bath full of pebbles. When our location had reached the maximum eclipse coverage of the sun, the all-over shade gave the daylight an eerie vibe. At that point, I did notice the bird activity changing. The birds appeared to be shifting into their usual evening mode with less vocalization and only a bird here and there grabbing one last snack from the feeders. But perhaps the most interesting behavior I saw was a huge kettle of black vultures flying low in the sky above my house. It was probably one of the largest groupings I've ever seen overhead when they're not circling in search of food. There must have been 40 to 50 vultures flying in graceful half circles around each other as they passed over our property. Couple this with the complete shade, and we could have the setting of an apocalyptic movie. I stood in awe for far too long, and by the time I grabbed my phone off the picnic table to get a photo, they were gone. I've learned that black vultures normally gather in a communal roosting spot for the night. Is it possible that the annular solar eclipse confused this particular group of birds and they were heading to their normal roosting area? I also listened to hear if the barred owls would be tricked into calling out their usual dusk "who cooks for you" hoot, but I guess they didn't fall for it. Perhaps if the solar event had lasted longer, or if it had been a total eclipse. I guess I'll have to wait until April 8th, 2024, which is when we here in North America will experience a total solar eclipse. What about you? Did you get to witness the annular solar eclipse where you live? Did you observe any interesting wildlife behavior? If so, reach out to me over on Instagram at Bird for Joy. I would love to hear your story. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. If you are enjoying the show, I would love it if you would follow or subscribe, rate, review, and then let others know about the podcast so we can continue to build a community of like-minded birders. A big shout out to composer Jonathan Boyle for his cheerful show music called Plucking Happy. The spoken lyrics were written and read by me, and the full version with lyrics will follow this episode. Until next time, stay chirpy, my friends, and get outside, feel the sun upon your face and the wind in your hair, and bird for joy's sake. Bird for joy's sake, when you're needing more, a new beginning, feeling lost, alone, or blue, go into nature. Stroll to the melodious tunes of birdsong. Let it refresh your soul, fill your heart, lift your spirits. Yes, bird, for joy's sake. Witness the winged wonders, flitting, fluttering, playing hide and tweet. Is there anything else so sweet? I think not. We'll save for the chitter-chatter of my own nestlings as they filled my early days, but sigh no more, for they have long left the nest, and I now strive to find myself once again, discovering new things that I do best. Bird, for joy's sake, for our feathered friends have much joy to share, and it doesn't cost a dime, only time. And I don't know about you, but I am willing to give, to have a chance to live out my days, filled with curiosity, hope, and wonder, learning patience, the art of slowing down and being fully present, living in the moment, something I have long strived to achieve. Bird, for joy's sake, and keep looking up. Let their constant cheer infect you, their tenacity provide you with lessons of never giving up, and looking on the brighter side of life. Prepare for entertainment with their quirky, chirpy silliness. Oh my, so much cuteness, happiness and whimsy. You can't help but smile. And suddenly you'll discover worries cease, frustrations fade, chaos calms, and troubles melt away like snow in the spring. You will find yourself looking up and forward into the horizon, surrounded by song, hope, and happiness perched in your heart, feeling renewed and fulfilled. Go out into nature, take a stroll, let the avifauna rejuvenate your soul, and bird, for joy's sake.